Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
You have to stand proudly for the national anthem. Well, you shouldn't be playing, you shouldn't be there. Maybe you shouldn't be in the country. You have to stand proudly for the national anthem.
Your San Francisco quarterback, I'm sure nobody ever heard of. I'm just reporting the news. There was an article today, it was reported, that NFL owners don't want to pick him up because they don't want to get a nasty tweet from Donald Trump. Do you believe that?
Mr. President, should Colin Kaepernick get an opportunity to play in the NFL?
Only if he's good enough. Yeah, if he's good enough. Yeah, I'm not. Why would he play if he's good enough? And I think if he was good enough, I know the owners. I know Bob Kraft. I know so many of the owners. If he's good enough, they'd sign him. So if he's good enough, I know these people. They would sign him in a heartbeat. They will do anything they can to win games. So I'd like to see it. Frankly, I'd love to see Kaepernick come in if he's good enough. But I don't want to see him come in because somebody thinks it's a good PR move.
For what seems like a decade now, Colin Kaepernick has been one of the right wing's favorite targets to justify their outward hatred of anyone who dares speak truth to power and challenge the country to abandon cruelty in favor of humanity. That is the root of Cap's message, bringing awareness to police brutality, and his kneeling protests of the national anthem. But as we've seen in real time, Republicans from all walks of life have bought into the lies their politicians and media ecosystem have been spewing, leading to people thinking like this.
Colin Kaepernick, the football quarterback, for his political stand, sort of vanished from the NFL. How do you feel about that?
The only time I think somebody should take a knee should be for Jesus Christ. And that's how I feel.
Colin Kaepernick, his career was basically ended by the stance he took. Do you think that, in retrospect, was fair?
His career was ended because he was a terrible quarterback. He's had the opportunity to go ahead and play. He's come out and supported it. He's actually come out and done a couple things, done a couple tryouts for the NFL teams, and NFL teams turned around. He's actually come out for NFL teams and turned it into a publicity stunt. So I don't think that guy has any seriousness into him whatsoever. Was he treated unfairly? Hey, look, this is America, and you can stand for whatever you want to, however you want to, but you got to be prepared for the backlash and for any consequences that are dealt with that. So I feel that's fair. If that's the way the NFL and the people are going to treat him, then he's got to deal with those consequences.
There is a huge difference between someone dealing with the consequences of their constitutionally protected free speech and Cap getting blacklisted from the National Football League, highlighting the genuine problem of police brutality in minority communities and even advocating for reform to our entire policing system isn't inherently unpatriotic or even political in nature. However, that message was flipped on its head by the right wing and used to convince conservative sports fans like this Cooper that Cap's message was treasonous and that he deserved to be ostracized from the game.
He has every right to stand up for what he believes in, and I'll always stand behind everybody's right to stand up for what they believe in, but you also have to be willing to deal with the consequences that come behind that as well.
This is textbook conservatism, total freedom of speech for myself and the people I agree with, but none for anyone I disagree with. If this man actually believed what he was arguing here, he would recognize that the real issue surrounding Cap was never about him worrying about facing the repercussions for his beliefs, but rather how misinformation and disinformation about Cap's protest influenced and convinced NFL owners to shun him to protect profits. If this MAGA dude cared about free speech as much as he's letting on, Cap would be a prime subject to defend. But we all know that's just not the case.
His career was sort of ended by taking a knee. How do you feel about that and athletes and politics?
I'm pro First Amendment. You guys, if you believe what you believe, go ahead and say it. So I don't necessarily agree with him, but at the end of the day, it's his right. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
This may be one of the most honest conservatives you'll ever see, and his take is where the manufactured outrage about Cap should end. You don't have to agree with him, but if you claim to believe in our country's founding principles, he deserves just as much respect as anyone else to advocate for what he believes in.